Hello and welcome to this product review blog. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Piscifun on a reel. It is a 4000 reel that's been sent out to me by Piscifun to review. They got in touch and said, would you like to review one of our products, and this was the one that I like the look of, and that's the one that they sent out. So that's the box that it comes in. It's a quick look at the reel, and if you want to have a look at some of the product information on there, you can see it's got 11 ball bearings, a 5:1:1 gear ratio, and it holds quite a bit of line. I'll put a screenshot of that up on the channel in a minute, with all the information on the side of the box. But that's the box that it comes in. And I say, when you open the box up, it comes in a nice like protector. You open it up like that, and the handle folds in for storage. Then obviously when you want to use it, just normally spin the reel out. It's a quick look at the reel. I'll pop a little bit of video footage on now of some close-ups that I've done of the reel. And today we're out on the bank in search of chub using this very reel. See there, it's a lovely looking reel, isn't it? And that was the first thing that when I opened the box struck me. Before I've even used it, it is just a beautiful looking reel. It just looks the part. And one thing that I noticed when I opened the box is it felt solid. It feels like a nice solid reel. I think it retails at £40, £40 to £50 range reel. So that's the price bracket that it's targeted at, and it is aimed at spinning. But like I said to the guys, I said I do stick float fishing, and that is my thing that I do. So that's what I'll be using it for. It's loaded with £4 dread and float fish for today. One thing I will say is the spool is massive. I've got £10 backing on that, and then 200 yards of float fish, and you can still see that the spool isn't completely to the end. But when I loaded it last night for the session, obviously I've put as much line as I can on it. Yeah, a lovely looking reel. You can see the design on it, and the attention to detail on the top, like little things like the logo being on the top of the seat. You never see it, but just a little attention to detail that I liked about it, and the colour design. And there is a lot of metal on it. So yeah, it is a lovely looking reel. That's a quick look at the reel there. So as you can see, it looks a lovely looking reel. Now what I'll be using it for today, and I'll be testing today, is the bail arm and the drag. Obviously the drag needs to be smooth enough to deal with the lunges of a chub, and the bail arm needs to be strong enough to take the power of a chub as well. For my type of fishing, with stick float fishing, the biggest fish that I'm probably going to catch is a chub, but it needs to be light enough to deal with them lunges of a chub, and when it turns in the flow and goes. Today we're in quite a fast swim, so it'll get that test. Right, one thing that is instantly noticeable about the reel is how quiet it is. I mean, like if I just reel it in now, not a sound. Really is smooth. So as you can see there, the drag, the rod plays the fish, obviously takes the lunges, but the reel's just ticking over. You know, really impressed with it. It is, for the price range, you know, ticking a few boxes. And there's that chub, and so just about to put it in the keep net. It didn't do too bad. Played the fish nicely, nice bend in the rod, just ticking over nicely. And a nice chub. And so we are out today testing this reel. Like you see, just ticking over nicely. When that fish is pulling, the reel's just taking the lunges. So yeah, doing what it's supposed to do. Like I say, you can just tighten it a bit when you want to put pressure on, and that fish is just holding in the flow there. The rod's playing the reel, the rod's playing the fish, but the reel is all as one. It's absorbing the lunges and just ticking over, and that's what you want in a reel. You don't want a reel that's not gonna, you know, absorb the lunges. That's when you get snapped off. If you want to use light lines, you've got to have a reel that can be easily changed. I mean, that's a light drag there, but it's holding that fish in the flow. And when that fish turns, you can see it's just ticking. I don't know if you can hear that. And there we go. That's chub number 2 of the day. I need a proper one. Thick as a barrel. And yeah, winter chub. And as I say, if it can handle fish like this, it's doing something right, isn't it? Right, so I've been trotting with the reel for probably about a good couple of hours now, 3 or 4 hours. And like I said earlier, it is really a quiet reel. It's played a couple of chub, it's ticked over nicely, it's done everything I've asked it to do so far. One thing I have been impressed with was, as you've seen on some of the shots, the line coming off the reel. Now what you've got to remember on this reel is it's not full to the brim, like I would normally have it level with the spool, because you want as little resistance as possible with the line coming off. Last night I didn't have any more spools left. I'd used, you know, the backing and that, and it didn't fill the spool. So it is a bit underspooled, but still really smooth how the line comes off the lip of the reel. No resistance at all. So yeah, it is a really nice reel to use. Yeah, I'm really enjoying using it, and you know, let's say it's had a few chub now. Let's see if we can get some more in the afternoon and give a full review at the end. A proper test for the reel now, because just hooked a proper chub. You see there's a proper bend in the rod, and I've hooked it right on the tree. Right, so yeah, a couple of chub on the session. I'll show you the final net in a minute of what I've had today when I've been testing the reel. But yeah, that's a final chub of the session that's just come, and he's a proper chub, thick across the shoulders and lovely. And yeah, the reel's done really well today. I really can't fault it so far. As I say, I'll have a talk about it when I've had a look at the final nets, you know, in the final review at the end. But yeah, a nice chub just to round off the session, and I'll post a quick video of the net that I've had today on it. Right, so there's the final net. As I say, a very enjoyable day on the bank. Some small chublets and proper chub. It's been well, it's dealt with them all. It's been good fun to use, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself today on the bank. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit in a second just about my final thoughts on the reel. But yeah, as product reviews go, for my type of fishing, well, I've caught this net of fish using it, so I can't complain. So let's get these guys back and have a look at my final thoughts. Right, so back home now. The review footage that you've just seen there was of a Saturday session fishing for chub. For those who don't keep up with a few videos on the channel, I actually went out again on the Sunday fishing for chub using this reel and the Aculite, and in the top corner now of the screen I'll put that video up, and you can see a bit more of this reel in action, again fishing for chub. The reason why I chose chub for the video to test the reel is because I feel it gives a good test of a reel. A chub, when you strike into it, is solid, so but then will turn, and it's that sudden turn is where you get snapped off, and that is where the test of the reel comes. When that fish turns, can the drag react quick enough so you don't get snapped on 2 pound line? And that is why I used chub to test this reel. On the session, I felt the drag really did okay. I didn't lose any fish, and I always felt in control. One thing it has got is a range, like an array of sensitivities as such. What you don't want in a reel is heavy and then really light in that short movement. What you want is heavy and then a few turns till really light. Gives you all that range of sensitivity to keep in control of the fish and just make little changes as the fish moves through the swim, and you want to have more control when it's going to turn away. And I felt always in control of the fish. Design wise, as I said, I've always from the start, it's a lovely looking reel, and I've always been impressed by the design of the reel and the feel of it. It feels solid, and the design is really a nice design on the reel. And one thing that you did see on the videos, and I didn't really talk about, was the line coming off the spool. Now, when you flick over the other side of the river, like you've seen me doing on the review, the line really did come off the reel really, really easily. When I got home, I looked in the leaflet book, which, you know, we all just get it out and use it. And that is actually a patented design of the reel. The company have patented the design of the spool to allow line to come off the spool easily to reduce tangles. Bearing in mind with that spool there, as you can see, it's not full to the rim. And I did mention that on the video, it wasn't full to the rim. And I see it as a huge bonus, and it wasn't even to its full potential. If that was level with the end of the spool, it can only add to that part of the reel. Now, one of the things that obviously a review can't test is the bail arm and the longevity of a bail arm. Now with trotting, that is the one thing you're using constantly. One thing I would say is that will come in time. The test of that will come in time of using the reel, and I'm that impressed with the reel that I can see me using this reel in videos to come. So you'll certainly see this reel on the blog in some of my fishing, whether that's trotting or maybe a spinning reel for pike, whatever I use it as, you will see this reel on the channel. I've been really impressed with the reel. I would like to say thank you to Piscifun for sending me the reel out. I really have enjoyed using it, and I can't wait to use it again in the future on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, anyone who's watched the review. Tight lines in your own fishing. I'll pop a link to the reel in the description, and I'll catch you all next time.